Hello everyone, this is a small blind 3-betting range against a button open raise. Which of these hands would you be considering a 3-bet bluff? Many of you who have been playing for a long time do call these hands 3-bet bluffs, and in these videos I'm explaining to you simple concepts so you understand the idea behind poker a little bit better and can become a profitable player. So have a look at a few examples. Ace-5 suited. Is this the hand you would have chosen to call a 3-bet bluff? Let's 3-bet it. And you see that it is a full frequency 3-bet if you consider that you either fold or raise from the small blind against the button open raise. What about 10-9 suited? Is this a 3-bet bluff? Again, we choose to raise it and we see that we should always be raising it. The EV is positive. So could we be talking about a 3-bet bluff if we are actually making more money by 3-betting it than if we were to fold this hand? What about ace-king off? Is ace-king off a value 3-bet? 3-bet for value. So you'd always be 3-betting this. What are you wanting to achieve when you 3-bet this? Do you want your opponent to 4-bet? Do you want them to call? Do you want them to fold? Let me tell you this. What if I told you that when you 3-bet ace-king off on the small blind against the button, you are happy when they fold, and you, at least theoretically speaking, make more when they fold than when they do any other action? How could you call a hand for value when you're happy to keep the 2.5 big blinds at the button open to plus the big blind posted and your small blind when they fold? Should you be talking about a bluff when you want your opponents to fold? You see that the concept is not easy. Many players use it in terms of distinguishing between the stronger and the weaker hand. But pre-flop, which hands are actually strong? Pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens? What if the board comes 6, 7, 8? Are they still strong? So aren't in fact all of our hands, our entire hands, pre-flop just a draw? Let me introduce you to the concept of a linear 3-betting range. What does linear mean? It does not only mean that you're 3-betting pocket aces and pocket kings. It means that on the small blind against the button, if you only either 3-bet or fold with your range, you look at all of your range and the hands that you believe are profitable to 3-bet, regardless of how profitable they are, you 3-bet, and any hand that you think that are not going to be profitable by a 3-bet, you're going to fold. This is a linear 3-betting range. Let me zoom into the 3-betting range and now show you little numbers for each combo of hands that you have. Those numbers are the EV. How much are you expected to make compared to fold if you do 3-bet these hands? And you see that all of these hands, ace-5 suited, 9 suited that I showed you before, ace-king off, they all have positive EV, or at least are break-even when 3-betting. Only a few of these hands are very strong and gain a lot, like the pocket aces, kings and queens. So could we at least call the top of our range a value range? Look, they surely are the strongest hands in your range. However, even pocket kings, once they call to your 3-bet, there are so many runouts where they are just going to end up flopping a better pair when they have an ace, make 2 pair, many boards where you actually may win the pot but the action slows down because your hand is not that strong anymore. So even those hands you could be considering a draw. You'll make your life easier if you understand that before the river, basically all of your ranges are draws. Just think about how much equity your hand has, how you optimally play it to make the most out of it, but don't really call it bluff or value beforehand. Call your 3-betting range a linear range, and a linear range from the small blind here consists of strong and medium hands, but not of bluffs. All hands that you 3-bet are positive in EV. Is this accurate for all 3-bets in every positions, or are there also polarized 3-betting strategies? What is a polarized range? It does not mean that you're betting the strongest up until medium hands that are positive in EV. It means that you take some of the best hands in your range, or the best hands in your range, and some of the weakest hands in your range, and medium strength hands typically are not in there. Is this what a big blind 3-betting range may look like? Here you have it together with the EVs. The first thing that stands out is a lot more hands. You see a wide range here, many type of different hands, all at lower frequency. What does lower frequency mean? It means that you're not always 3-betting all of these hands, but these hands can either go as a call or as a 3-bet. So it's important to realize that overall, when you're on the big blind, you will call much more than on the small blind. On the small blind, you can even not call at all if you wanted to. On the big blind, you necessarily have a folding, a calling, and a raising range. So on the small blind, your only decision was to raise or not to raise. Now your decision is to raise, to call, or to fold. So the weakest hands, you're not going to raise. You're not going to 3-bet bluff 7-2 off. They're just going to be a fold. But are you raising Queen Jack suited? You see that the red bar below the Queen Jack suited is very small. So you mostly call it pre-flop despite it having a big blind in EV when you do raise it. And King 6 suited has 0.52 big blinds in EV, and you 3-bet it more frequently than Queen Jack suited. Does it mean that King 6 suited is a better hand? What about Jack 6? What about 10-9? You see that the amount of times you raise these hands does not depend on how strong the hand are, because now your comparison is not which hand is stronger. The stronger it is, the better it is to 3-bet. No, you need to compare the actions and therefore with your hand decide, is my hand higher in EV between call or raise, or is it the same? If it's the same, you take both actions. So this is why these two ranges look different. Small blind against button, big blind against button. Because small blind, you have two options, 3-bet or fold. Big blind, you have 3-bet, call or fold, and it does not matter whether your hand is stronger or weaker here, whether it's value or bluff, whatever it is. No, you just compare all of the actions you have available and decide which action is highest in EV. Given on the big blind, you have a further action, and many of the hands are indifferent. They don't care. You could either 3-bet or call. You have a strategy that is much more diverse, whereas on the small blind, you just decide what is strong, I raise, what is not strong enough, I fold. So I hope you understood the difference between linear range and polarized range, but is the big blind 3-betting range actually polarized? Remember that the weakest hands, we just fold against the open raise. So we are 3-betting some very strong hands, but I see a lot of medium there as well. So careful. When you're on the river, all the cards up there, you know, okay, my hand here are the nuts. I'm going all in because I have the strongest possible hand, or I have no equity at all. My hand is very weak. If I check back, I'm always losing. I'm going all in as a bluff. But pre-flop, does it really make sense? If you're talking to your friends and just want to explain that you're 3-betting a weaker hand and want to call it a 3-bet bluff, okay. But if you're playing seriously and thinking about the game, rather try to understand when your 3-betting range should be more linear, post-flop as well. When are you going for polarized strategies? What kinds of hand are you betting? Why are you betting them? And only talk about value and bluff on the river. All previous tweets, just imagine all of your hands being draws. It will help your thought process a little bit, even though for colloquial communication, obviously if you want to distinguish a flop check raise, a bluff check raise, meaning you have a draw or something, that's fine. But it is not really how the theory of the game is. To learn more about it, consider contacting me for coaching or using the discount link for GTO Wizard I have left here in the descriptions and comments. To earn more money out of the poker sites, contact me. I offer you extra rakeback for free.